here today, as well as whatever else you might do.
You can do your part. Economic.
Thank you both so much, Kobe, Michael, everyone for being here. Free Palestine.
Woo! Woo, 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 woo!
I'm Chapter President of Veterans for Peace. Chapter President of Veterans for Peace in Monterey, Chapter 46. And I'm here to memorialize Aaron Bushnell and his extreme act of protest and what he did was very inspiring for many veterans, not only for myself, but many other veterans and veterans for peace. He has activated veterans that were probably not going to say much, but now are speaking up. That's why we're here today. And I have Aaron's final words. And like he said when he did his selfless act. And I want to read them slowly and loudly. Everyone can hear.
Hello, boycott devastation. Boycott devastation.
And actually, if everyone can repeat it with me, that would be great. My name is Aaron Bushnell.
My name is Aaron Bushnell.
And I am an active duty member of the United States Air Force.
And I am an active duty of the United States Air Force.
I will no longer be complicit in genocide.
I will no longer be complicit in genocide.
I am about to engage in an extreme act of protest.
I am about to engage in an extreme act of protest.
But compared to what people have been experiencing in Palestine,
But compared to what people are experiencing in Palestine,
at the hands of their colonizers, it's not extreme at all.
it's not extreme at all.
This is what the ruling class has decided will be normal.
This is what the ruling class has decided will be normal.
Rest in power, Aaron Bushnell. Thank you.
Boycott devastation.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you so much for remembering him.
Boycott devastation.
I'm going to hand it over to Jackie from Code Pink, who would like to say a few words.
So I want to honor the message that Aaron Bushnell left. To spotlight that message, he felt he had to perform an extreme act of protest. I don't think he was motivated by suicide thoughts. His thoughts were elsewhere. They were on justice. That's what this is all about. It wasn't about his life. It was about using his life to send a message. His self-immolation happened for a very explicit reason. He refused to be complicit in genocide any longer. For our government had ended the humanitarian crisis in Palestine. If Palestine was free, Aaron would still be alive today. He made the reason for his protest abundantly clear. He could no longer contribute to a system based on death and destruction. He forced us to examine our own denial, our own apathy, our refusal to engage with the atrocities we see in Gaza. I wish I could know all of the actions that were sparked by his extreme protest. And I wish that Aaron could also know what his actions sparked. But what we can do is make sure we carry on that message.
I would love for other veterans to come up. If the veterans would like to speak.
As been said so beautifully today so far, Aaron Bushnell did not commit suicide. I was online when it happened. The video came across very quickly. I made an audio copy because I was pretty sure the ruling class wouldn't let it stay up. But it did, thank God, for all of us. To be able to see his amazing words, his amazing calmness, his amazing focus as he walked so slowly and steadily and meaningfully towards the place where he was going to set himself on fire. And he left such a clear message, how could anybody mistake it? But we don't know the term moral injury enough yet. But we will learn it because it's going to become more important in our resistance to these wars. And to that end, we at Veterans for Peace have started organizing groups outside of the VA, outside of the therapist, outside of the captain, in which veterans can engage in dialectical dialogue with each other, transformative, where they can be honest about their feelings, not have to mask them, not have to be numb, open up to each other, do the healing work, and then understand what they're going to do in whatever part of the movement, which is continuing to grow at an amazing rate for the overall good, the good of all humanity, which is what veterans go in to do anyhow. Because when we went in, we thought we were the good guys, and we thought we were going in to do something great. And then we see that's how messed up and fucked up it is. And we really want to be part of it. And I wish we had this group 2 years ago, because Aaron would still be alive and after the fact, which is better. But God bless him. Thank you.
Separated about 2 years ago, and I saw the Veterans for Peace was going to be out here today, and I was super cool. I'm supposed to be in college class right now, so I was like, I'm starting to my ability. Being an Air Force veteran, I feel like I am Aaron Bushnell. Like, I felt the thing that he felt, seeing the children, seeing this genocide happening, finding my name up to defend my country, and then realizing this is what is happening along this road, it was too much. So I feel how you can get to that point to want to not be complacent in genocide and do that drastic measure. So yes, I feel that, and that's why I had to be here today, to show that I am also Aaron Bushnell. I do how I love, you know? And I'm happy that I'm here and people that actually feel the same way as well. And have a community, not to stay alone.
I was in the Air Force too.
Say your name.
Justin Loza, JUSTIN-LOZ.
It is so great to be here with all of you in front of this site of massacre, genocide, that has been protested for so many years. That finally the world knows what's going on in Gaza and the West Bank. And last night Trump spoke and gave his more than 2-hour speech on the State of the Union. Richard Becker and I made ourselves watch this just to see what he was saying. But it was vicious, it was racist, it was a nightmare vision of the world. And viciously attacked the whole Somali community.
Look forward to seeing you. Thank you for spreading it. All right, we'll do. Thank you very much.
Minneapolis and the police in Minneapolis in the United States showed Trump what we think of him and his wars. He gave medals. The whole speech was giving medals to people. Awards and medals. There was nothing but substance but hatred. And he was doing it to just try to create a fiction for the people of the U.S. as this election year comes up. He gave an award, a medal, to the helicopter pilot who invaded Venezuelan airspace and murdered, along with other U.S. pilots, dozens of Venezuelans and 32 Cubans with the most horrific, deadly weaponry that we haven't seen before. This is what the U.S. planned for anyone who resists the empire. And so we thank the Palestinian people, the people who will not stop, and the people of the world, including us, will not stop fighting for Palestine. I'm so glad.
Lost you.
I'm really glad to see children here and speaking out. For the last couple of years, individuals, young people, put out individual acts out of frustration against the United Upstairs, against certain people. And it's because they haven't sensed and felt the movement. So the Veterans for Peace is a vital organization to reach out to veterans. Just that name alone can help. So let's help all your aggression, because there's nothing progressive about the United States government or its system that it upholds. It's okay. It's a war on us, and it's a war on the people of the world. I want to say one thing about Cuba. I'm sure you're all seeing the news about Cuba and the oil blockade. In addition to all the other blockade of more than 60 years. People around the world, including here in San Francisco, New York, the People's Forum, is raising a lot of funds in order to be able to send solar power. Already now, with a great effort, Cuba has 38% of its energy needs covered by solar power. But of course, Cuba needs the right to have the oil that it still needs. It's a big network of thermoelectric generators. And I'm putting out a great project. I'm leaving tomorrow to share the communication to the children of Cuba. Because Cuba's socialist revolution will not fall. It will not fall. Period of the 90s, when all the media and the U.S. government said it was going to fall, it cannot survive the collapse of the Soviet Union. But they used the ingenuity of the human capital of the Cuban people, and they rose above it and provided the example. They've never abandoned Palestine. The president, Fidel Castro, had a keffiyeh around his neck. They broke relations in 1976 with Israel, and they marched a solid time for Palestine. They paid a heavy price for sending soldiers voluntarily to defeat fascists. Apartheid regime of South Africa. They've done so much for the world, and send the doctors. And the doctors that they send to Haiti are for free, they charge money. So the country with more money, they charge something, and that money helps them with doctors, the health care in Cuba, buying the medicine. And yesterday, the government of Honduras expelled the Cuban doctors. Shame. But you know what? It's the pressure that the U.S. is putting on everything. Mexico wants to send oil. We'll see it with food. Canada wants to send aid. We'll see what happens. Hopefully Russia starts sending oil. You know, companies like military ships. Yes. Viva Veterans for Peace! Viva Aaron Bushnell! Let's not forget him. And let's make sure that we use our bodies to live the struggle and the struggle to live.
Thank you, Gloria.
And I want to introduce Sasha. Sasha, I don't know your last name even. You're Stetler. Sasha Stetler with Code Peace. She's, I believe, the new Bay Area coordinator with the area. It's always nice to see young activists get on board in the peace and justice movement. So here's Sasha.
Hi everyone. Thank you all for being here today. I'm here on behalf of Code Pink Bay Area to remember and honor the life of Aaron Bushnell, a 25-year-old Air Force serviceman who self-immolated in front of the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. 2 years ago today. As Aaron burned to death, he repeatedly yelled, "Free Palestine," until his last breath. Aaron's actions and final words can teach us many things. Aaron's death was a direct reflection of the horrors we have been seeing in Palestine for 2.5 years now. As Aaron live-streamed his death, his immense suffering was palpable. We have seen similar horrors live-streamed in Palestine. The bombing of schools and hospitals, starving children, people being shot in the head, mocked and tortured by Israeli forces. We have watched the immense suffering of the Palestinian people just as we watched Aaron's. Aaron used his protest to show that these horrifying deaths cannot be normalized, even as our ruling class decided they should be. He rejected the notion that human life is expendable while forcing us to see that for so long and for so many people it has been. The history of self-immolation as a form of protest showcases how all-consuming and inescapable the terrors of oppression feel. Nearly 60 years ago, a man named Norman Morrison did the same in protest of the Vietnam War. In 2010, Tunisian street vendor Mohamed Bouazizi's self-immolation began the Tunisian Revolution. This pattern of self-immolation as a form of protest throughout history forces us to reckon with the idea that the oppression that communities and individuals suffer in the face of war and imperialism pushes them to such an extreme act. In a letter to Martin Luther King Jr., Vietnamese monk Thich Nhat Hanh stated that to burn oneself by fire is to prove that what one is saying is of the utmost importance. There is nothing more painful than burning oneself. To say something while experiencing this kind of pain is to say it with the utmost courage, frankness, determination, and sincerity. And this is how we should remember Aaron. We must continue to hear and spread Aaron's message that we refuse to be complicit in genocide. Aaron is far from the only U.S. military member who has felt complicit in the military's violence. More and more soldiers are seeing the horrible reality of risking their lives for a military that does nothing but terrorize and destabilize the rest of the world for financial gain, and then leaves the veteran with nothing but physical and mental trauma. They see the government funneling billions of dollars into warfare and imperialism, but giving no resources to supporting the veterans facing severe mental health problems, medical bills, unemployment, and homelessness. The U.S. preaches to support the troops while they abandon the veteran in their time of need, and then call them a traitor and isolate them when they speak out against the true horrors they witnessed in the military. They try their best to break and silence the veteran, so the veteran's focus has to be on survival instead of revolutionary action. And now there are tens of thousands of veterans on the streets of the U.S. Aaron himself stated about the homelessness crisis, "I've always been bothered by the reality of homelessness, even back when I was growing up in a conservative community. I have come to believe in the importance of solidarity politics, and I view the enforcement of homelessness as a major front in the class war, which must be challenged for all our sakes. I view helping my homeless neighbor as a moral obligation, a matter of social justice, and a matter of good politics. If I don't stand with those more marginalized than me today, then who will be left to stand with me tomorrow?" And with these words from Aaron about solidarity brings me to my final point. We are constantly overloaded with grief and trauma from all corners of the globe. The genocides in Palestine, the Congo, Sudan, the blockade of basic human needs to Cubans, the 7 different countries our singular nation bombed in 2025, the ICE terror in our communities. And on top of that, our daily individual struggles. Things can feel so overwhelming right now, and this is what the ruling class wants. They want to overwhelm us to the point where they break us, where we feel so powerless that we give up and accept that this is normal. We, like Aaron, must refuse to accept these conditions as normal. Actions and efforts may feel futile at some point, but know that they are not. Community, connection, care, and love is exactly what this capitalist and individualistic society fears most. So as things continue to feel so suffocating, just try to wake up in the morning, ground yourself, and ask yourself, what is one thing, big or small, that I can do today to help the people? This could be something like making a donation, attending an action or a meeting, giving food to someone hungry, boycotting major corporations. Get to know your neighbors, join an organization, find common causes with your class comrades in your community and around the world.
Join us in front of the consulate every Friday.
Yes, because all of our struggles are interconnected. Continue to educate yourself, decolonize your mind, and actively challenge this individualistic mindset that is forced upon us from the day we are born in order to keep their capitalist machine running. Check on your people and your neighbors, as so many are hurting and struggling. And when you leave here today, keep Aaron in your thoughts and the countless martyrs around the world and throughout history that have given their lives in the name of liberation. Let their memory and courage inspire you to fight another day. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Sasha. Thank you, Sasha. This is my first introduction to her, and I'm looking forward to her role as a Bay Area coordinator. Yes! She wrote that speech herself. I don't think I could come anywhere near writing a speech as well spoken as that one was. I love that you ended up your speech with, we all need to take responsibility. And, you know, I've met a number of friends in recent weeks who have asked me, friends who aren't activists, who say, are you thinking about leaving the country? And these are people that basically have not been happy with what's been going on in this country, but have not taken any role to change it around. And my response, I didn't say this to them, but I plan to, is that, you know, we can't just leave this country. It's just going to get worse for the people who have to stay here. We all have to take a responsibility to realize, as Ralph Nader said many years ago, you don't have a democracy unless you have an active citizenry. So, but anyway, one way to contribute to change, we all know, and some of you know me, I'm an active anti-drone person. I've been going to drone bases for, I've lost count, 16, 17 years now. And drones are one of the primary tools of US imperialism. Drones are the primary tools that have slaughtered the people in Palestine over the last 2.5 years. Drones are the primary tool that have attacked the boats off the coast of Venezuela. Drones are against freedom and against democracy, and they're an oppressive tool. And we have a protest coming up in early April from the 5th to the 11th in front of the largest drone training base in the United States in southern New Mexico. And we invite anyone who can come for a couple days or the whole week. We have limited funds to help with the cost of getting to New Mexico. So if you're interested, please talk to me before you leave today. I'll get your contact number or contact information. But there are hundreds of cars every day that flood into these drone bases. And since in Holloman Air Force Base in southern New Mexico, 700 plus or more pilots and operators graduate every year. That's how big the US drone program is. Just this one base, they graduate over 700 operators every year. It's an important place to be. If you want to turn oppression around and you need to reach out to these military who are so brainwashed. We go there with not hatred and animosity. We go there to try to waken up their consciousness, and I really believe that we have an impact. So think about coming April 5th through the 11th. That's one really important thing you can do. I know it's a far distance away, but the Southwest is a beautiful place. You can add adventure and exploration out in the Southwest natural area. It's beautiful down there. So I want to introduce my comrade, Eleanor Levine, who's worked with me on drone-based protests for many years. She's with Code Pink, and she has some words to say.
Hello. Thank you all for being here today, and I want to thank all the speakers who had really important things to say. And what I wanted to do was to just reiterate some of the things that we can be doing and we are doing to stop the United States' role in the genocide, not only in Palestine, but elsewhere in the world. So we've heard, and let me hear from each of you suggestions about the things that you do that help us to end the genocide not only in Palestine but elsewhere. We've heard from Toby about the drone action at Alamogordo in New Mexico. What other things are we doing? We know about BDS, boycott, divest, and sanction. Don't buy things that are made in Israel, in the occupied territory. We're here today gathered to show support for the Palestinian people and make a public display of our support, because that's one of the things that's really important, is that people see that there is disagreement, that people see that there is protest about what the United States is doing. What are some of the other things that people are doing? Boycottbooking.com and boycott. What else? What else? What other things are people doing?
Lobbying congressmen.
Lobbying congressmen. I know a lot of people think it's futile, but it's really important because those are the people who control the purse strings of the taxpayers' money. They're the people who keep voting for more money for war, both Democrats and Republicans. It is important that you contact your congresspeople and that you demand meetings with them. What else are people doing?
Picket stores like Trader Joe's that carries Israeli goods.
Picket stores like Trader Joe's that carry Israeli goods. What else? What else are we doing?
Organizing in the streets.
Organizing in the streets. Music, dance, marches. What else are people doing? I know you're all doing some things. What else are we doing?
Flotilla support.
Flotillas, support the flotillas, the peace flotillas to Palestine. There are letters to the editor. You'd be surprised how important letters to editors are. You'd be surprised at how important it is to write comments on the comment section to articles that appear in newspapers. We do it. We have a little project where we constantly monitor the narrative around the war in Ukraine. And you'd be surprised how important that is and the kind of dialogue that follows. So it is important to be writing to your newspapers, to when you read an article, make comments in the comments section and educate people. What else are people doing?
We're going to have a big dinner at the Berkeley Fellowship for Activists, a big potluck on March 31st.
On which day?
Just join in and...
what day?
And organize.
March 31st.
March 31st, the Berkeley Unitarian Church. Cedar and Bonita, there's going to be a big support potluck. What else are people doing, in general or in specific?
Support Palestinian businesses.
Support Palestinian businesses. Find out which businesses are owned by Palestinians, restaurants and other kinds of businesses, and support them. And likewise, boycott those that support Israel.
Support La Boheme.
Support La Boheme.
The cafe in the Mission.
It's the cafe in the Mission. Thank you. I don't know that, being an Oaklander. What else are people doing?
Promote pro-Palestinian podcasts.
Promote pro-Palestinian podcasts.
And films.
And films. And art. Buy keffiyehs and wear them. Make a public statement about your support. What else?
Like 972. Very brave Israeli and Palestinian journalists.
Support 972, which is an online news service. I read that. Read the news. It's really important to stay educated, and don't be afraid to talk to your neighbors and your family about it. I know it's particularly hard for those of us who are Jewish because we know what the narrative is, If we don't kill them, they'll kill us.
Support Jewish Voice for Peace.
Support Jewish Voice for Peace, AROC, Arab Resource Organizing Center, Mecca, Jewish Currents. What else? Palestinian Youth Movement. And support the embargo on the Oakland port, through which weapons are being sent to Israel. Post on Facebook pro-Palestinian messaging and narratives. And at all times try to counter the narrative that Israel is a democracy, that Israel is doing good in the world. That narrative has to be challenged at every point.
Greater Israel movement. They want it all.
Oppose the expansion of Israel to other neighboring Middle East countries.
Stop Huckabee.
5 broken cameras.
By what?
Download the film, 5 broken cameras.
Download the film, 5 broken cameras, and make sure to see the film Israelism. If you have not seen Israelism, it is a fabulous film which explains the brainwashing of young American Jewish people and how the narrative about Israel is spread and what's the right word? Garners sympathy for Israel. It's a really important movie. What else are people doing? Okay, you've got a sampling of some of the things, because in the end, what really matters is what we do and how we stand up to the U.S. and its genocidal policies, not only in the Middle East, but elsewhere in the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Good idea.
Okay, we have some more speakers coming, but before they come, I want to point out that not only do we need to end war, but we need to end militarism in general, because militarism and the U.S. military is the #1 polluter of our Earth. And if you haven't seen Abby Martin's film, The Earth's Greatest Enemy, make sure you see it. It's an important film. And all of us, all around the globe, are getting sick, cancers, other diseases, because of U.S. militarism. So anyway, I want to, and we're going to show Earth's Greatest Enemy in New Mexico. So if you want to see the film, come to New Mexico and join us. And tomorrow is an important action at the federal building at Golden Gate, the old federal building. There's a really important lawsuit against the Navy shipyard, because of their allowing people to live on toxic land that was not cleaned. It's probably impossible to clean because they use radioactive, they docked radioactive ships from the nuclear conflicts. And there's radiation all over that area at Hunters Point. So there's a lawsuit, and there's a hearing tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. If you can just even go out to the outside of the building, be there for the rally. I'm sure they're gonna have a little rally tomorrow at the Golden Gate Avenue Federal Building, 450 Golden Gate. The old federal building. Tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. I'm gonna be there. Are you gonna be there, Kathy? Yeah. Okay, so we have some new friends here from Kazakhstan. From Kazakhstan. They don't speak very much English, and I haven't met their names yet, but one speaks a little English. He's going to say a few things in English, and then he'll speak in Russian. So if any of you speak Russian, you'll understand.
My name is Agmanov Zholbaris. I am from Kazakhstan. I and my friends come here for support opposition party Alga Kazakhstan leader. His name Marat Zhilambayev. He across big research in the world. He handler Guinness books. he is right now in hunger strike. Start early February, and right now nobody know where he died or alive.
Tell us his name again, Marat?
Марат Жиламбаев, оппозиционный лидер оппозиционной партии «Алга Казахстан». Правительство Казахстана хочет убить его за правду, за то, что он является лидером оппозиционной партии. Ни родственники, ни адвокаты не могут его увидеть, не показывать. Мы не знаем, жив он или мертв. Поэтому мы пришли поддержать его. Спасибо за внимание. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Serик Жайкбаев. I from Kazakhstan. Мен Марат Жыланбай ағамызды қолдауға келдім. 23 жылы Қазақстанның билігі бұл кісіні қамап қойды түрмеге. Содан шындық айтқан үшін Қазақстан елінде әділдік жоқ, қазір болашақ жоқ. Сол үшін соны айтып шыққан үшін бұл кісіні қамап, қазір түрмеде жатыр. Осыдан аштық жайралады, осыдан 1,5 ай бұрын аштықтан кейін бұны отбасына, туыстарына көрсетпей жатыр. Өлі ма, тірілі ма білмейміз. Адвокат та шығып жатыр, көмекке шығыңдар деп. Осы кісіні қолдап біз шықтық. Назарларыңызға Қазақстан мемлекетіне айтатыным, бұл кісіні босатуыңызды талап етеміз біз.
Freedom, Marat Жиламбаев. Freedom. Freedom, Marat Жиламбаев. Freedom. Marat Жиламбаев. Freedom.
Thank you so much. And if you want to join us on Fridays, 10:30 to 12:30, we're every Friday to protest Israeli genocide funded by the U.S. So now Rick Sterling is something to say. He's a member of Mount Diablo Peace.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name's Rick Sterling with the Mount Diablo Peace and Justice Center, and also an associate member of Veterans for Peace.
Right.
I want to say thank you to the organizers who brought us out today for this important action. I want to say a few other thank yous. Thank you to the guy there who's holding the Iranian flag. It's very, very relevant, obviously. And I want to say thank you to the woman who's holding here the beautiful poster. It's an amazing poster. And I want to find out where that poster can be purchased. And because I think it should be distributed very, very widely. It's amazing. The artwork that was done in preparation for today's event was very impressive to me. How many people here listened to the State of the Union address last night? Not many, no. Well, I listened to, not all of it, but I listened to some of it because I was just curious, and it was a pack of lies. Trump claimed that Iran is the biggest state sponsor of terrorism in the world today, which is an obvious lie. It's the United States and Israel, which are the sponsors of terrorism around the world. Look at what happened in Venezuela. Look at the strangulation of Cuba. Look at their threats against Iran right now. Look at the U.S. continuing to provide weapons to Israel to bomb civilians and women and children and everybody else in Gaza. So it's very clear that the state sponsor of terrorism is not Iran, it's the United States and Israel.
Or I'll give you my phone number.
How many people here know about Aaron Bushnell Street? Some people do, but for those of you who don't know, the Palestinians honored Aaron Bushnell by naming an important street in the city of Jericho in the West Bank, Aaron Bushnell Street. So I think that's, I won't say too much more. If you're interested in getting definitely sign up for the email list of for the activist alert from the Mount Diablo Peace and Justice Center, and get on our email list. We're doing things. We're planning a conference on April 25, which is a Saturday, and very accessible by BART or by driving. And one of the themes is going to be the right to resist, the Palestinian right to resist. So I hope some of you can make it there. Another thing that I'm really happy about today, and the fact I came, is to meet the young woman, Jillian Smittle, who was was in the Air Force for 6 years, who ended up at Travis Air Force Base, and she was saying, you heard her talk earlier, she was saying she had a complete, when Aaron Bushnell performed his deed, she felt great identity with him because she felt the same way. So thanks very much.
America has had enough of genocide. Stop the genocide. Shut the consulate down. Shut the Israeli consulate down. No Israel in America. And I think we need to get the U.S. government out of America also. What do you say? So, anyway, Rick mentioned this poster, and I have some really sad news that I just found out last night. The artist that made this poster is Art Koch. He came out to our protest at Travis. He's a photographer. He was an artist. And anyway, he made this painting.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. As a tribute to Aaron Bushnell, I think over a year ago. And he turned it into a poster so that we could bring it to our protest. Well, I just found out last night that he came down with a cancer less than a month ago. I don't know what kind of cancer, but it took his life within less than a month. So it's a really sad loss of a very, one of the kindest men I've ever met. Art Koch was his name. So anyway, say some prayers for his wife, and his contribution in the world is left through this painting and all the other beautiful art that he made. So just a prayer for Art Koch. Okay, I'll try to miss him out here. And killing children is a crime.
Killing children is a crime.
From the U.S. to Palestine.
From the U.S. to Palestine.
Killing doctors is a crime.
Killing doctors is a crime.
Bombing hospitals is a crime.
Bombing hospitals is a crime.
Killing journalists is a crime.
Killing journalists is a crime.
Stop the genocide. Stop the hate.
Stop the genocide. Stop the hate.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
I have nothing prepared. I just want to say, I was seeing some people watching The Matrix, talking to some people who love The Matrix, that movie. And it's like people don't have any realization of how that metaphor is so appropriate for our current world, and how the reality of our life is just completely suppressed Realities like the deaths of innocent people in Palestine, the deaths of innocent people in Venezuela, the deaths of innocent people in Cuba, all caused by our government. And one of the great secrets, one of the great suppressed truths, it seems to me, is how the number one reason why Israel is allowed to do what it's doing is because of us, because of our country. The number one reason, the number one factor behind Palestinians being killed in Gaza and throughout Palestine is our inaction, our government's payment, our government's funding. It's the number one reason. It's far more important than the nut jobs, the fanatical Zionists. It's the fanatical market fundamentalists who are in charge of our government. And that's a secret that we are just not allowed to talk about. And that seems to me extraordinarily important to raise that awareness, the awareness of American imperialism. And one other thing, thank you. One other thing was, Eleanor was talking about what are we doing. One thing that I've been doing a lot more, and that is I'm no longer polite with liberals. That is to say, I'm no longer being polite with Democrats, liberal Democrats like the Indivisible people, I mean so many people in Indivisible, who don't understand that this particular issue is paramount to the Democratic Party's reckoning that needs to take place. Isn't that true? Exactly. They just, as some of you probably saw, they just released or they leaked an autopsy of the election by the DNC, and they specifically said, of course they're not going to announce it publicly, but they specifically concluded that it was Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party's lack of mentioning of Gaza that lost her the freaking election. There you go. And they don't talk about it. They don't talk about it. They still won't talk about it. If you go on Saturdays to the Tesla demonstrations, which is, usually liberal and Democratic, you'll see some keffiyehs, but nowhere near enough. Nowhere near enough Palestinian flags. And then the only other thing I was going to say was also when we're talking to liberals, we hear nothing about. We hear about the no kings. We hear about Trump fighting Trump and regime change against Trump. But there's nothing about taking a reckoning of how the Democratic Party has been completely captured by corporate forces forever, really, but especially since Ronald Reagan came to power in 1981. Total capitulation, isn't it right? Total capitulation to the corporate oligarchy and no awareness. Even now, very little talk amongst the Democrats regarding that. And that's not unrelated, of course, to this, because it is the military-industrial complex that's behind, and the oil industry and the rest of the oligarchy who are allowing Israel to kill innocent people by the thousands. That's right, money for bombs, but not for food. At any rate, aren't you regretting now that you handed me that? Okay.
No, not at all. I don't regret.
Remember Aaron Bushnell.
Remember Aaron Bushnell.
He is not alone.
He is not alone.
Remember Aaron Bushnell.
Remember Aaron Bushnell.
He is not alone.
He is not alone.
Remember Aaron Bushnell.
Remember Aaron Bushnell.
He is not alone.
He is not alone.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Well, I really appreciate what Michael Stone just said, because for years and years I have said we cannot accept that we should vote for the lesser of two evils. Americans have accepted that for decades. Does that make any sense?
No.
If we vote for evil, what are we going to have?
Evil.
Evil. We should not sacrifice our most important human values, which is you don't kill innocent people. You don't kill innocent people, but the U.S. has been doing that for decades. for its very existence, actually. So we need to convince our friends, our liberal friends, that we have to throw out the principle of voting for evil and not vote as a pragmatist, but vote for our humanity and our values. So I was in tears just a few days ago trying to talk to my Congressman Garamendi, who was speaking at a forum for candidates. Right? He's running for re-election. Because months and months ago, he signed on to that bill. I can't remember what it was called, but you know, you don't send any more weapons to Israel, right? He signed on to that. It took him forever, Garamendi. And then I find out just a few weeks ago that he signed on to a bill for more military aid to Israel. So I was not called on to ask my question in front of the people at the forum. I was wearing my keffiyeh. Maybe that was why they didn't call on me. So what did I do when he was finishing his speech and the questions were over? I stood up and I faced him with the hypocrisy. That's a hypocrisy of our politicians. We should hold them to have integrity if they're going to stay in office. They asked me to step outside in the lobby, so I stepped outside in the lobby to have a conversation with him. He said to me that he's been fighting against the genocide since the very beginning. I know that's not even true, because I was calling his office for weeks and weeks in the first year of the genocide, trying to get him to do something. So he said that he did not vote for more military aid to Israel. He's getting quite old, so maybe he doesn't remember, or maybe his aides give those votes without him knowing about it. I don't know how those votes are put in. But anyway, we have to hold our congresspeople to what they can't say one thing and be two-faced and do something else. So yeah, we have to hold our liberal friends to stop voting for evil. We do not want evil. The Israeli Consulate has to go.
Has to go.
Out of San Francisco now.
Out of San Francisco now.
The Israeli Consulate has to go.
Israeli Consulate has to go.
Out of San Francisco now.
Out of San Francisco now.
No to genocide.
No to genocide.
No to slaughter.
No to slaughter.
No to bombing hospitals.
No to bombing hospitals.
No to killing journalists.
No to killing journalists.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
All right, someone else take over the mic.
On the 23rd of March at the BFUU Church in Berkeley, that's Benita and Cedar Sawat. Shama Sawat, who is running for Congress in the Seattle area, is going to be there and speaking. She's the one that got the $20 minimum wage up in Seattle when she was on the council for all that time. Is a great friend of labor and definitely against the wars. So
And she's going to be speaking where again?
At the Berkeley Fellowship of Unitarian Universalist on the 26th. It's a Monday night.
26th of March?
Yes, and then the 31st of March is when we're going to have a big joint potluck for all community activists. For all community activists to come, all are welcome at the same place. It's at Berkeley Fellowship of Unitarian Universalists.
Because I'm hosting Shama Sawat in Sonoma County on the 21st, and that's Saturday.
It is the 23rd. Oh, thank you so much. It's the 23rd she's going to be in Berkeley. Thank you for correcting me, and thank you for hosting her earlier up in Sonoma.
In Santa Rosa.
Good, in Santa Rosa. Good. And people keep wondering, why are you on Palestine? I mean, we see Trump going into Venezuela and kidnapping the leaders and killing off all those Cubans and then blocking all the oil for Cuba. And we see him now in Iran, which is a really scary one because I want to tell you, if that thing goes forward, we're not going to be able to buy oil. I mean, the whole thing is going to erupt in our world. But the thing is, with Gaza and with Palestine, If they can do genocide anywhere, they can do it everywhere. And they're getting away with it, he thinks, with this stupid board of peace, which he's got, you know, he thinks that he's getting away with that. Because the rest of the world, they're either frightened or threatened or, you know, whatever. But that's why we have to stand up and why it's so important, you know, that we
the lights are out. You're not even at the right place.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
From the Bay to the Philippines. From the Bay to the Philippines.
From the Bay to the Philippines.
Stop the U.S. war machine.
Stop the U.S. war machine.
From the Bay to the Philippines.
From the Bay to the Philippines.
Stop the U.S. war machine.
Stop the U.S. war machine.
From the Bay to the Philippines.
From the Bay to the Philippines.
Stop the U.S. war machine.
Stop the U.S. war machine.
Thank you, everybody.